So, Tim, as you see the Browns putting these pieces together, the building blocks together for the upcoming season, what's your assessment here of the job that they're doing?
I think they're doing a great job. Obviously you bring in a guy like Deshaun. He's an elite player, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You just hope he's available for a lot of the season. And the running back group is one of the strongest in the league already with Chubb and Hunt. The offensive line is great. Re-signing Clowney is huge. Just to keep that pass rush with Myles Garrett, keep a little pressure off Myles on the defensive line is huge. Thought they had a really good draft as well. I thought they added some pieces that can come in and help right away. So I think they're doing a great job. They're on the right track, and hope guys can stay healthy and some of these young players can make an impact right away and they can have a big season.
Tim, we kind of take for granted that we're supposed to just you guys know the plays, right? Deshaun Watson is going to come in. He has to learn the playbook. Can you tell me in layman's terms, kind of put together your day of a quarterback who's trying to learn a brand new playbook? Like what are you doing in the morning, afternoon? How do you digest that information so you don't go to the huddle look crazy?
That's a great question, man. I think that's, every quarterback, when you go into a new system, just getting the play out in the huddle is the hardest part. You want to sound confident. You want to sound like you are in charge and you're in a leadership role. But when you're in there, stumbling through a play and you can't spit it out, it's hard for guys to believe in you that you're going to be able to make that play. So, you have to know the verbiage, first of all. You have to understand, what you're calling and why you're calling it. And then you just get into understanding, the routes. You start breaking it down. I started watching film. I'd watch, first down pass or play action passes, third down passes, blitz packages, red zone, just trying to learn it, break it down into parts like that and start learning the system that way. And then obviously there's the running game as well. You're making checks at the line of scrimmage where we want to run this play into this look or get out of this play versus that look. So there's a lot that goes into it, man. It just takes a lot of time. But, Deshaun is a very intelligent football player. He's proven that throughout his time in the league. I think he'll pick up on it very quickly. And, they'll adjust the system to him likes and what he likes to call and kind of make it familiar with him in certain cases that he's used to calling what he used to call it in Houston. So it'll be adjustment on both parts, but I think Deshaun will pick it up as quickly as anyone can.
Tim, we were talking earlier about the fact that at least I expect, and I think these guys all did too, the defense maybe to struggle early last season because there were so many new faces, and as the season went along got better, and that's exactly what happened. And this year there should be more consistency on defense. But now I think to some degree what you're talking about there with Deshaun Watson learning the playbook, really the entire passing game is different. You have a new quarterback. You may have two quarterbacks because there's a reasonable chance Watson's going to get suspended at least for some games. Your wide receiving core is basically all new except for Donovan Peoples-Jones. I mean, I know Schwartz was here, but he barely played. And, so Amari Cooper, the tight ends and running backs are basically the same, but the passing game, that will be a work in progress, even if Watson doesn't get suspended. But certainly if he does, it may take time for it to all come together, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. You're talking about an all-new quarterback room, given, saying that Baker doesn't come back and play if Deshaun is suspended. You're talking about some guy who's never played in the system before. So there's going to be an adjustment, and then, like you said, the wide receiver group is extremely young. Amari Cooper's got to get adjusted to this system. It's going to take time. And, getting guys on the same page, getting guys understanding, how quarterbacks like them to run routes and the timing that goes along with that. So it's going to be a lot of work in the offseason and OTAs and training camps, just trying to get on the same page with these guys and get the timing down in the passing game with these wide receivers and just get everyone, kind of on the same page and familiar with the verbiage in the offense.
Tim, damn that. Here, help the old NBA guy out here, right? Now, I'm just an NBA guy, but I got two studs in the backfield. I got Hunt, and I've got Chubb in the backfield.
Yeah.
Why can't we run? Why have we seen them in the backfield together? Tell me why that occurs, right? Because to the casual fan, I say, I have two studs here. I amplify my chances here because if I'm trying to show the defense, you don't know how I'm coming at you. Why have we not seen that here?
I'm not sure. I think there's probably, they're probably wanting to find a way to use both those guys at the same time. They're very different players, very different style runners. And, I think you get Chubb in there and, he's capable of hitting the home runs. And then, Hunt comes in and he's just going to pound you in between the tackles, and they're very physical backs. So, just to change of pace, just to spell one, keep one fresh is always a good idea. So maybe they're afraid of, getting one of them injured or something like that. So they just want to keep one of them fresh at all times. So, just keep the poundage down on their bodies. But, it would be hard to stop with both of those guys in the backfield and trying to figure out where the play's coming from. But they're two really talented backs, man. I think probably the best 1-2 punch in the NFL right now.
I remember the good old days with Mack and Biner.
Yeah.
We used to see them
people
together all the time.
used to seeing that, right? They used to seeing Bo Scott,
Right.
Leroy Kelly. We used to seeing
Way
backs
back.
together. We seeing backs. And I'm like, why are we going to changing one guy in, one guy out?
Yeah,
Well,
clearly Stefanski likes to keep one fresh.
Now that they trust, real quick, Jay, on that point before you go, now that they trust Dearness Johnson after the way he played last year, maybe they will be more comfortable because they know he's there to back it up.
He's a safety net.
Yeah.
Tim, I want to test your memory as a quarterback. How long has it been since you last took a snap in the NFL?
Let's see. I guess it would be 2005, maybe.
Okay,
I
so
think.
17 years or so. I love doing this with former quarterbacks because it really shows, to G's point before, about how they study and how they memorize stuff. I love asking quarterbacks, what was one of the most complicated play calls you ever remember having to call in a huddle? And I've asked this of guys that have been out of the league 20 years, and they rattle one or two of them off like it was yesterday because they burn them into their memories so much. So I want to test your memory live. Give me one of the sequence calls that you had that you struggled mightily with trying to get a command of it, and then take us through the moving parts of all of it, what all of it meant.
Let's see. Put me on the spot. It's been a long time since I've called a play.
I know it has. Sorry, brother.
I would think one of the hardest ones I can remember would be, let's see, far west right slot, U short, pass 96, U counter gap, keep left, fullback slide, X smash.
That's my guy right there. I knew he would get it. Okay, now take us through that.
And there's only a couple hundred of those in the playbook you got to remember, right?
It's mind-boggling. And so when we're sitting at home with our beer and our feet up on the couch yelling at the quarterback.
Why can't he make the throw? What's going on
keep
here?
it in mind. So take us through the moving parts of that call again and tell us what it all means.
It's really simple, to be honest with you. The play is a very simple play. It's just a play action with a bootleg out to the left side with a smash concept on the outside where the outside receiver is going to run a 6-yard hitch. The inside slot receiver is going to run a corner route over the top of him. And you just high-low in the corner. If the corner comes up on the hitch, you're throwing the corner route over top of his head. If he gets depth, you're going to throw the hitch route on the outside. And then you got a fullback slide to the flat as well. If they cover both of those with a certain coverage, you just dump it off to the fullback on the slide. But it's really a simple play. It's just a lot
Very
of words
simple.
to call.
Jay
We should call it like apples or
this
oranges
is
or
why you
something
need
simple.
this.
Just
This is
to
better.
get it out,
Just hold
man.
this
It's
up.
hard to spit that out.
Yeah, that's what colleges
What's
have gone to. They just hold up.
Hold
yeah,
up the card.
yeah,
They hold the
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
what
Yeah.
was the call again? Can you take us through the call again? Because it seemed like there were like 11 different moving parts
exactly.
to that thing.
Yeah, so it's far west right slot, which is the formation. U short, which is putting U in short motion. Pass 96, which is the protection. Pass 96, U counter gap, which is protection. Let me see. Far west right slot, U short, pass 96, U counter gap, keep left, which is the quarterback keep left. Fullback slide X smash, which is the route. So it's so you're basically telling every receiver what to run, what the protection is for the offensive line, and that I'm going to be rolling out to the left after the play action, after the fake off of the 96 play action.
And so if you have to change that at the huddle, change that at the line of scrimmage, how do you change that?
Well, sometimes we'll call 2 plays in the huddle on those deals. It could be an alert. If we get up and it's just a very soft look, a two shell look, and it's going to be very beneficial to run the ball, I can easily get to a run and play out of that. Whatever the live color is that week, some weeks it'll be red or brown or whatever. So if I get to the line of scrimmage and I've been using blue 88 or white 90 or whatever, and all of a sudden I say red. They know that I'm getting ready to change the play. So it'd be red, whatever run play I want to get to. It could be a dive play to the left, a toss play to the right, whatever it is that the defense has given me that I want to kind of, the area of the field I want to attack, I'll call a run play to that.
Tim,
So much to it.
I know, right?
He just said, just reading what you just did right there is amazing. I'll take it a step further than that. Like back then, like the game has changed so much. And one of the things that I heard that really blew my mind was quarterbacks calling their own plays. Like Bernie Kosar or Jim Kelly or Warren Moon basically calling their own plays the entire game, run, pass. What would it take today to be able to, for a guy to be able to call his own game like that? And did you ever have some of that maybe in your career in college, high school, or in the pros where you got a chance to call your own plays?
Yeah, that's a great point. I did get into a little bit of that in college. My second year in college, and in the air raid system that we created with Hal Mumme and Mike Leach. Coach Mumme in my second year would pretty much just give me, a lot of times once we would get rolling a game, I had a wristband on, and he would give me just a formation, and he would just kind of tell me to go with it, and I would kind of go up there and. Because I'm the last guy that's going to be able to see what coverage they're in or what front they're in. So he trusted me to get us into the right place. So I had a wristband on where I could just quickly signal out to the wide receivers what route I wanted them to, what play I wanted them to get into, or whether it was a run play or whatever. But at the NFL, really I didn't call my own plays at all, other than 2-minute drills. Obviously you kind of own your own in 2-minute drill. Or if your headset goes out, you got to go. You got to understand what you're trying to call. But to be able to do that for an entire game, like you said, what those old school quarterbacks used to do, Bernie and those guys, and I think Peyton Manning probably did quite a bit of that as well. Calling your own play for an entire game, man, is unbelievably hard. You have
I
so
don't
much
think we'll
stuff
ever
to
see it
figure.
again.
No.
It's crazy. Yeah, I can't imagine the pressure. You're trying to figure out. You got to figure out down and distance, what it is, where you're at in the game.
That's tough.
Everything you got to factor in all that while you're trying to, read defenses and make right decisions, and then trying to figure out how to call plays would be unbelievably tough.
Tim, you mentioned Mike Leach there, so we got to ask you, has he always been crazy, or did he just recently lose his mind in the last few years?
Been crazy from day one, man. Absolutely, from the first day. When he first got to Kentucky, he and Hal had been at Valdosta State, so he never had a big job before. Yeah. So he just kind of came in. He was our wide receivers coach and offensive coordinator, but you really thought he was kind of crazy because I didn't know anything about these guys, and he's just talking about everything but football. He's talking about pirates and wars and history and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, man, I just want to know the freaking playbook. I don't care about pirates.
What's your greatest Mike Leach crazy story? Because I know you've got many.
Well, yeah, he, the funniest things I can remember about Mike when he first got there was our quarterback room was right next to the wide receiver room, and after practice, when we would go in and watch the film, you could just hear him cussing those dudes out, man. Names. He would call them 85 or 87. What the hell are you doing here, 87? He didn't even know their names or whatever. Man. So but you could hear him screaming at them from down the hall, and he was an intense guy, but he was a lot of fun to be around, and obviously a brilliant offensive mind.
Hey, Tim, we last week we played a game show. Mike Polk is one of the guys who hosts with us. He did a game show called, did you see this by any chance? We put up pictures, and you had to guess whether it was a former Browns quarterback since '99 or a stock photo auto mechanic. Now, you're one of the most recognizable Browns quarterbacks since '99, but most of the guys that came after you are not recognizable, including Kelly Holcomb, who was one of the guys on this game who I don't know if we all knew it. I'm not sure. But how do you think you would do in that game if we somehow in the future played that game with you? Do you think you'd be successful?
I think I'd be pretty good at it, actually. I've watched. I think I've watched every Browns game since 1999. So I think if I didn't do well, I'd be pretty surprised.
Some of them, I got to say, some of these pictures we looked at and we debated them for 45 seconds, and even when we finally guessed, it was just a guess. We couldn't tell.
I kept saying Connor Cook, who wasn't even a Browns quarterback.
Yeah, I know. You were thinking Connor Shaw. Mike wants in
Mikey.
here. Mikey, what do you got?
Tim, I will send you the link. If you record yourself going through the 19, we will play that and react to you playing the game. It's like
great.
7 minutes long. It's not that long. But if you get,
I'll be
what's
glad
the
to.
challenge? If he gets 80%, he wins.
What were there, 17 or 19?
I think there was 19.
Yeah.
I think Tim would get almost all of them right.
I mean,
think
in
he
the
get like 2 or
end,
3
we
wrong.
did get most of them right.
Yeah, we got like 3/4.
I mean, I think, I can't remember, Bree was keeping individual scores.
Yeah.
I came in last.
It feels like we got most of them right. You missed a couple.
Yeah.
Aditi was in that day. I think
Yeah.
she got most of hers right because we were going individually around. Yeah, if you get a chance to do that,
I'll
it'd be
send you
funny
the
to
link,
watch.
Tim. Let's see how you do.
Some of the pictures, too,
Yeah,
I don't know
sounds
where
good.
they got them.
They were good.
They were. Do you want to keep going with this, or are we gonna jet?
Tim, you want to do some mean tweets with us?
Oh, yeah, we got to do the mean tweets.
We're gonna do Internet
sure,
Hates
let's
Us. Yeah, Mikey, are you
Internet
reading
hates
those? Who has
everyone.
those?
Me, Bull, and Tim.
Oh,
So we're gonna
wonderful.
go around the
Tim's got an
horn.
internet
Yeah.
hates
Tim
us?
Couch. We're gonna let Tim read the first one. So Tim,
Oh,
I
that's
emailed
awesome.
you those this morning. Steve, let's pull up the video, and Tim, whenever you're ready, let it rip.
Your show is unlistenable, unwatchable, and a torture all around. Give it up for humanity's sake.
Well, I've got a suggestion. He doesn't have to watch us.
Yeah. I know.
Exactly, yeah.
Tim, what kind of loser would have Beavis and Butthead as his picture?
You just answered the question.
Bring that back up, Mikey. Bring that back
Give
up.
us 1 second, pulling it back up.
Yeah.
Look, because I want to show you. Phil Uzi
Yeah.
is up at 1:24 a.m. tweeting about
Loser.
That's a great point.
Loser.
Wait a minute. So
Loser.
why? That's a great point. Why is he tweeting that at 1:24 in the morning?
Hey, fun
Who's
fact
the
about
loser?
Phil
Hey,
Uzi.
look, Jay, a loser.
Yeah, you just yell on that one.
He just got done spending $1,000 at the strip club downtown. That's
Phil
what happened.
losing.
Grand.
Fun fact about Phil Uzi.
Yeah.
0 followers.
That's my
Zero
favorite.
followers.
Zero followers.
Loser.
Fat goose egg.
So someone is unlistenable and unwatchable. How many followers do we have? I don't even know.
Close to 8,000.
And we've been around 2 weeks. So Phil, keep doing you, bro.
Yeah.
What else? Who's next?
Bull, I'll let you read number 2. I'll go
I
number
like
3.
this one. Bob E. Knight.
This
Bob
guy, we had
E.
this guy last week.
Yeah, he's a
He
total
tweets at us
dip.
every day.
But I give him credit. That's actually a funny tweet. Your YouTube show is as bad as your baseball team.
So we're
Oh,
mediocre.
Bull.
it's
Ouch.
funny, but you're taking shots at 9 and 10-year-old kids?
Yeah,
that's a little
that's
lame.
low. That's low.
By the way, Tim talked about Mike Leach talking about other things besides like sports. So the other day I went to the mound to talk to my pitcher,
Yeah.
and I felt like he was nervous. So when I went out there, I didn't talk about pitching at all. I
Yeah.
said, "When's your birthday?" And he told me. I said, "What do you want for your birthday?" He said, "Nothing." He was like, he was totally shocked that I was asking him about
Sure.
something else.
He
besides
took his
baseball.
mind off the
It
game,
didn't
though.
work though. Didn't work.
He continued to squawk everybody.
Well, next time, hey, whoever his name is, tell him what I want
Yeah.
for my birthday. I'll pitch in for him.
All right. there you
You
go.
sub. You
Yeah,
sub.
so
Bob,
All right,
I mean-
tag in for him.
You got another one, Bull?
Wait. Yes.
Bull, hey, let me read number 3, Bull.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
Oh,
let
this
Tim
guy.
do number 4, and then Bull's got 5.
Okay.
So number 3, from Dej 1996. Chicago attire on @Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Lame.
Yeah, that
Calling
was
out G. Bush.
I wondered about that because you had a Blackhawks hockey jersey on last week,
Hey,
right?
well, listen, here's the thing, man. I try to let y'all know. Listen, this is just from one culture to another.
Yeah.
We, as African Americans, we wear the hat because it look good. Now you might see, I like the Guardians. I love the Guardians. If it was a hot Yankees hat, I might have it on.
This guy,
Please
I
don't
know
wear
this
a
guy
Yankees
on
hat, though,
Twitter.
to this
He's
show.
like one of the 30 people I still have blocked on Twitter because he's a little.
He's touched.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. This guy, I know him. He's a hater. He's a hater.
There's only one color I don't wear. Like I won't even, and I'm so sincere about this. I don't even play with this team in Madden. I do not rock Steelers gear. I don't rock Steelers nothing.
Good.
And
So that's your only rule.
and-
Ravens? What about Ravens?
No, I can't mess with the Ravens neither.
Bengals?
But I don't outwardly just say that. But Bengals is kind of cheap. Like because I
You
could
wearing
wear
a Pete Johnson jersey?
No, I could
You
wear
wearing an
orange.
Archie Griffin Bengals jersey?
Back
Throwback.
up. Hold
Throwback.
on. Back up with Archie Griffin now.
This is homie.
Stop.
Played for the Bengals.
No, stop.
That'd be the
Don't
only
touch
piece
the
of
Ohio
Bengals
State-
clothing
don't
I would
touch the
ever
Ohio
wear.
State people. You stay off the Ohio State people.
All right, Tim, is there any team that you won't wear? Is there any team you won't wear?
Absolutely. In college, it's Louisville for sure.
I knew
can't
that's
stand
right.
Louisville. Being a Kentucky guy, it's my son is a sophomore in high school. He's getting recruited now for football, and I told him you can go anywhere you want. I'm not going to tell you where to go, but you're not going to Louisville. So,
Did you ever consider going to Louisville, or was that absolutely a non-starter for you growing up in Kentucky?
non-starter, man. When you're a Kentucky fan, you just can't stand Louisville. It's like Michigan, Ohio State.
You're
like
right.
One side or the other.
Yeah.
Louisville's out for me.
That is a great that
wow.
that is their
Oh, yeah.
Michigan.
I remember.
in the state of
I
Kentucky.
remember when Michigan called for my daughter, right? And I said, "Look, Coach, I'm gonna just tell you right now, we can't. We're not even gonna do that. Let's not even play around with
Yeah.
this because
No,
I, said, I have to live here. I'm not fooling with you,
Right, yeah.
They
So you might be
sincere.
the best of intentions, but no.
They
So
sincere about it.
Because your relationship with your daughter's going on forever.
Yeah, right.
That if she were to make that Michigan decision, that would always be the elephant in the room.
Tough.
Yeah.
We got two more.
Two
Bull,
more?
you read
Yeah.
number 4.
All
Tim's
right.
going to read number 5. Bull, it's all you.
The internet
I'm reading
hates
num-
us.
Oh, but I got to read 5. No, he's got to read 4. No?
Yeah, we'll switch it up.
All right, can't wait to hear you back on the radio in a couple of months after this experiment bombs.
Jeff Shorty Law.
Jeff, well, like, what is wrong with people that they would be rooting for this show to fail?
Because the internet is full of hate.
Yeah.
Pull that back
That's
up.
why the more time you spend
Mike,
in
pull that back
it, the
up.
more demented you become.
I mean, at least he likes me. He does want to hear me on the radio. What's the difference if you listen to me on the radio here?
I like looking at the tweets. Let me see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you-
Shorty Law.
Yeah.
So a lawyer at 219 is doing what?
Yeah.
Raise
Well,
all over the time.
that is, though, in
What-
defense, it's a Saturday.
What are
so
you
he's probably
doing?
not
You
working
should
on
be-
any cases.
Hope you're preparing for a case.
I would, if he was my lawyer, I wouldn't want him sending a tweet like that. I wouldn't,
Hey,
just me.
Get ready to go ahead and plea bargain. I
Bull,
plead
one of my
guilty.
favorite sayings
Yeah.
is hate corrodes the vessel that it's carried in. So if you think about
Yeah.
that for a second, that's why I have a pretty fast rule about the internet.
Yeah.
I will output, but that's where I stop. I don't really care what the
Smart.
reactions to it
Yeah.
are. I don't care. I make my decisions in a vacuum regardless of what people think.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this for you as a career decision.
Yeah.
So I loved your explanation of it. You do something every day for 11, 12 years, whatever you did.
Yeah.
It becomes like stamping fenders. And this was an opportunity for you to do something new, different.
Yeah.
But here's the key word that a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
Challenging.
Yes.
That's the key. So when you wake up every day, if you're going to go to a routine that you've had for all these years, it becomes routine, and
Yes.
you can become complacent. You
Absolutely.
went outside your comfort zone. I applaud you, Bull,
Thank you,
for
thank
what you
you.
did.
Yeah.
And look, if this doesn't work, you'll go back.
We'll
You'll be a
figure it
radio
out.
show host
I'm not
or
worried about
whatever.
it.
But I
It's
love
already
the
working.
saying, too, that I'd rather have tried and failed than never have tried.
Yes. And,
And-
most
and-
importantly, happy. Happiness is more
Yeah, so
important
keep
than
the
money.
hate coming. We
Yes,
don't mind it.
love
You
it.
got one more, and Tim's got to read the last one.
Okay.
Tim,
Tim,
go.
what do you got?
Oh, I love this one.
Oh boy, here we go. How is Adam the Bull part of this show or group or whatever the hell it is? He's not even from Cleveland nor a Cleveland fan. He's from frickin' New York and a Bengals fan. He sucks.
I mean, he hit all the
That's
talking
harsh.
points.
I love
Man.
that tweet, Tim.
Bring that back up.
This,
Our
that
sleuth
back up.
wants to point something out.
Hold on, bring that back up.
what do we got?
Is that my man Jonathan DeMart from the construction company down in Streetsboro? Is that? Can't be too many Jonathan DeMarts.
Wait, you know this cat?
I don't know. Like, is this the same? Is this the same
Jonathan DeMart. How many followers does Jonathan
I'll be
DeMart have?
calling
Do we
John
know?
Hold
after
on,
this.
hold on.
Yeah, he's going to look it up. So you know a Jonathan
Absolutely
You gotta
do.
straighten him out, Brad. I've always said I never got why like there's always been a segment of the fan base here that were mad at me because I was honest about who I grew up rooting for.
You bring a different perspective. That's needed.
Right? I'm not going to be biased.
Yeah.
I've made it very clear from the moment I moved to Cleveland. I'll root for the Browns. I'm rooting for the Browns to win as long as they're not playing the Bengals.
Yeah.
I root for the Guardians to win as long as they're not playing the Cubs. Unfortunately, it was in the World
Yeah.
Series. It
Yeah.
sucked. Otherwise, it was terrible. Should I renounce the teams? I grew up rooting for them. What am I going to do?
No, so, Jonathan-
it allows me to not be biased when I talk about the teams.
You bring a perspective that the three of us don't
Right.
have. So we are fans, and
Yeah.
sometimes, and I try hard not to do this, but it's burned into our DNA.
Yeah.
Fans are sometimes the most critical.
Yes.
But sometimes they're the most blind.
Yes.
And they're just, oh yeah, the Browns did this, then I support it.
Yes.
I don't think any of us are that guy. But
No.
your perspective coming from the outside,
Yes.
especially New York,
Yes.
I think that's the perfect place to be from if you're going to move to another market. 'Cause
Yes.
you know the cynicism that fans have. You understand that. And not that we fanboy because we don't, but I make no bones about it. I wear my love for these teams on my sleeve.
Yes.
I root for them, I live with them, and I die with them.
And by the way, I've had multiple opportunities to leave Cleveland in the last 11 years, and
you
I've
said
chosen
no.
not to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I never would.
Right.
But it really has nothing to do with Cleveland. It's just because at some point I might just want to live somewhere warm. I don't want to go back to New York. But I've had multiple opportunities to go to other places. I've been offered jobs, and I've turned it down because I'm very happy here.
He loves Cleveland.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Tim. We talk about mean tweets really quickly. I was in a YouTube rabbit hole going down watching Brown's video, and I came across something. We had a little issue with people booing, right? I remember I watched the game. You got hurt. and there was boos, man.
I remember that.
And I remember I was emotional because I remember watching the post game, and I'm like, man, it hit Tim tough because he was like, wow, man, I done put a lot out here, and when the boos come, it's tough. How do you deal with that as a player? You the number one pick. Obviously, Baker dealt with it. A lot of quarterbacks do. How do you deal with that when you are getting booed? What do you do? And would you be on social media today because of all the toxicity a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. For me, I was the first player picked in the new franchise back in '99 and started with that team when they were absolutely awful and got sacked 56 times my rookie year, which was an NFL record. Got beat to death, and I kept getting up, kept playing, kept fighting, and then to get booed when I'm laying there on the ground with a concussion is, in my home stadium, I just felt like it was a low blow, and it really upset me. I was hurt, as athletes, you don't really want to show your feelings a lot because nobody really cares how you feel, but you're a human at the same time. And they put microphones right in my face right after the game too. And I just had a concussion. I probably should have, if I would have waited till the next day, I wouldn't have reacted the way I did. I would have said something much more politically correct. But in that moment, man, I was hot. I was really pissed off, and it just didn't feel right to me. I don't think any athlete should be booed, whether if they're laying on the field hurt, whether it's their home stadium or a visiting stadium, but especially, you're laying there in your home stadium getting booed. It was a low point in my career for sure. And, I'm just glad Twitter wasn't around when I was playing.
Yeah, no kidding.
It would have been unbearable. And Adam, don't listen to any of these guys, man. You do a hell of a job on here. Just keep doing it.
That's exactly
Thank
right.
you, Tim.
And that's great advice from somebody who knows. I got to tell you,
Yeah.
my entire life I've been a Browns fan. That day, Tim, that you're talking about was one of the days that I was most ashamed to be a Browns fan.
Disgraceful.
Because, and I know it was, and what really sucks is it was a minority. It wasn't like the whole stadium.
No, it's always a small group.
Yeah.
But it was
It was
loud
a very
enough
few, yeah.
that you could hear it. The TV cameras could hear it. We were a national joke. Everybody was saying, yeah, Cleveland now is booing their own guys when they're laying there hurt. It was hard to watch because I know the average Cleveland sports fan and how good they are. That didn't represent all of us either, Tim. And I always hated that left a bad taste in your mouth for some of the fans. Before we let you go, do we have time for this?
Yeah, we got time for one more
Later
question.
in the show, we're going to talk about the toughest Cleveland athlete of all time. And your name is a name that has to be thrown out there. The beating that you took your rookie season is, we haven't seen anything like that since. I don't know that we ever will, again, because I don't think a quarterback with today's defensive linemen, the size and strength of them, I don't think a quarterback can survive 56 sacks in a season without getting hurt. Do you have a toughest Cleveland athlete that comes to mind for you, all-time toughest?
Man, there's been so many. Probably the one that right off the top of my head would be Joe Thomas. You're talking about a guy who played, 10 years at left tackle and never missed a game. I mean, at that position, man, that's unbelievable. I can't imagine the injuries that he played through and showed up and played at a Pro Bowl level year in and year out. And then another guy that I would think of, he wasn't a Cleveland athlete for a very long time, but my rookie year I played with Chris Spielman. And Chris was as tough as they come, and his body was just beat to death by that time that I was playing with him. And, man, he was an absolute warrior, and I love playing with that guy. So he would be up there on the top of my list as well.
Yeah, you give me 22 Chris Spielmans, I'm winning the Super Bowl every year. Just his heart. His heart was unbelievable. Tim, as always, great insight, great information.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Man,
joining
Tim.
us.
Thanks, Tim.
I also
Appreciate
have
you
to
guys.
know
Good
that
to
the
see you.
internet loves us, too. I've seen a lot of
Yes.
positive comments on you, and that
But
always
it's
makes
not
me
as funny.
smile.
It's not as funny as
Tim, we'll
It's
see you
not
next
as funny.
week, man. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, guys. See you next week. Thanks.
Thanks, Tim.